Good morning, Miss. Thank you for your time for the interview. There's some question we want to ask about. Do you think about e-commerce should be a part of tertiary education?
Well, I do agree up to a certain extent with e-commerce being in tertiary education. Okay, after all, at the end of the day, I still believe that in a class you must have that face-to-face interaction with your educator as well as with your student. Yeah.
Thank you. In your opinion, what's the benefit of it?
Okay, the benefits of having e-commerce in tertiary education, especially in tertiary education, is that it allows you as an individual to learn at any given time. You have the flexibility, you have your own time, you can plan your schedule around. So for example, because right now there are institutions offering long distance studying programs. So say you want to study in SEGi, but you live all the way in Johor. So by having the implementation of e-commerce in tertiary education, this will allow a person to work around and have the flexibility in getting a degree, as well at the same time, balancing and working a job maybe. Yeah.
How would you start your own center?
If I were given the opportunity, I think the two very most important elements that I must have would be, of course, money. Yes, first and foremost. And the second one would be skills. Because if I were to start a center on my own, I always believe that that I must be providing choices for my customers. So like myself, I major in the English language. I cannot just be providing them just the English language in my center. I would like to diversify my subjects to Malay, to teaching Malay, English, math, science, anything and everything under the roof. So people have a choice and people can just go to my center for all the choices that I've listed. So yes, I think besides money, skills is very, very important in me creating a center. Yeah. So.
Thank you for the interview. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Nick.
Good day, Miss. Okay, thank you for your time for me to interview you. Some questions regarding e-commerce things.
Again, it's something like you start with small first. Unless you have a big capital on your own, then you can start big. But always have to bear in mind, make sure profit must be more, not profit, revenue must be more than cost. But in order to do that, first of all, you need to gain the interest of the customer to buy your product, to buy your services, something like that. So when it comes to cost, try to avoid, you must always survey. If you want to do some loan, for example, for capital or investment, right, in your company, you must survey, make a survey. Okay, which one we survey? And you must know the strength of your product. In order for you to get investor, in order for you to get a good loans with a good interest rate, lower interest rate from the banks, you must always have a good strength of your product. Something like your product is very powerful, is very having a good strength, then only this investor or these banks is having a high they are convinced to put their money in your company, something like that. Okay, so must make sure always must have a very good strength of your product. What is the difference of your product and what is the strength and what are the specializes of your product or services? Okay, so that is important. So that is my opinion.
So thank you very much for your time. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'll be starting our interview for the IT assignment. Let's start off with your name and your course.
Okay, my name is Mohammed. I'm a DBA student.
Okay, let's get into the meat of the matter. Would you rather study online at home, or would you rather come to campus and study in a classroom with other students?
Okay, so first, if I would choose studying online, it's not an easy choice, but if I would choose it, then it have to be like studying or like taking a certificate from a strong university, like from Europe or something. It's a difficult way of studying, like, or taking a course online, because you cannot like understand everything, and if you have a question, it will be difficult. You have to email the lecturer or something. So I would rather choose physical, like coming to a college, but if taking a certificate from a strong university and I have to take it online, then I will choose online.
That's a very good answer. Thanks. Okay. But if, let's say you were in the country, like say that you wanted to get a European degree, what if you were living in Europe currently and you could physically go to any campuses nearby?
In this situation, 100% I will choose physically. Like, I have to go to the university, because basically I learn from when you're sitting inside the class, it's not the same experience as sitting in front of a laptop or something. I think physically will be way better.
Okay. So basically, it's not the matter of you rather staying like in a house alone, that you would rather study in a physical campus with your lecturer in front of you physically. So it's rather that if you cannot access the college that you would prefer, that you would study online.
Yeah. Because like studying online, as I mentioned, it's a difficult way of like learning, because like you can't ask any question. You will not feel and you'll not get the experience of university. Like, you will lose everything, you'll not have experience, you'll not have anything. But as I said, if you're getting a certificate from a high ranked university, then it will be a better choice.
Thank you so much for taking time to answer my questions. Hello, I'd like to ask you a few questions for our interview today. First, let's start off with your name and course.
My name is Liu Shanwei, and I'm taking the course in DBA.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Where I'll be asking you, what do you feel about e-learning? Would you rather study online or come to campus and learn in a classroom?
I think e-learning is better.
And why is that?
Because if come to campus to learn, the student targeting student only little bit. But if use e-learning, the others country also can join. Yes, so they are targeting student very wide. And we should follow the new era. So we can use the modern ways to let the student learn more.
Thank you so much for attending our interview today. Good afternoon. Thanks for attending this interview. I'd like to start off by asking you your name and your course.
My name is Rakib Hussain, and I'm doing Diploma in Business Administration.
Okay, so let's get into the meat of the matter. If perchance that you were able to do e-learning, that you could rather study online, or would you rather come to a campus and learn in a classroom with other students?
Well, I'm more of I wouldn't really suggest or even prefer to attend the college or the campus and study rather than going for online studying, because I believe it's quite distractive if I'm not attending it. I would not have a scenario of what I'm doing or what I'm supposed to be doing. That gives you an enthusiasm or motivation when you wake up in the morning or whensoever, and then attend for a class or an institute. So you have some motivation going on that I have to get up, I have to do this. But if it's online, it's like, it doesn't have a particular time, or maybe you would not even feel like doing it. So yeah, I prefer attending the college rather than having an online study.
If you could imagine a situation where e-learning would be helpful to like students rather than like perhaps students not being able to having transportation to go to college, something like that.
Well, I think students, well, if I'm not mistaken, there are a lot of studies which is done online, and it's also beneficial for some people. I mean, it's just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any positive aspects. There are a lot of positive aspects to it, like we can have, you know, the overseas courses which can be done online sitting at home without paying a lot of money for flights, for your accommodation. You can just, you know, have the same classes that you're going to have, you know, in your own house and inside your own room. So yeah, it has its, I mean, everything has its pros and cons. So I think the positive aspect of it is you can, if you have overseas classes, you can just have it anytime, anywhere. So yeah, that would be one of the positive aspects of it.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule for our interview.